Okay, are you guys ready for the final chapter? This is gonna be awesome. It's so cool. I've got a new character to share with you today. I've got some storyline information that's gonna be really cool, and you're gonna get to see one of these new characters all suited up and ready for battle, which I think is gonna be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and pull this up. I am your host and author of the Grimm and Jim series, and these will be some character introductions for Chapter 9. Curiosis Amor. So let's get into it, right? So Chapter 8, we had found that Alita reached her transformations because of Jim's violent interaction between the interim of when Grimm and Informe were battling each other, and they kind of duked it out, and Jim left Alita in a rough state, like beat her up bad, totally used her own spear attack against her in the process of pinning her up against a wall of trees that she bent to her own will. She kind of spat in Alita's face, literally, and it became a big deal. Through Alita's transformation, she found a new light, kind of literally as well. She stopped the battle. Excuse me. She stopped Jim from trying to go murder her own brother. And she could have said that to anger Alita, maybe not. Maybe she was being legitimate. But in Chapter 9, what we're going to find out that after their skirmish, a couple cycles go by. And I've already explained what I mean by cycles, so I won't really go into elaboration about what I mean here. But after a couple cycles, Jim needs and kind of finds that she wants to go out and journey. She wants to go out and journey along this long pathway, and she wants to go towards the Great Northern Mountains. And you can kind of see in this illustration, these mountains, these are not the Great Northern Mountains. These are actually the mountains that separate their forest beyond that. To explain, it is a long way to do this. It's thousands of miles. Thousands and thousands of miles. It would be like trying to walk from the Keys of Florida up to the tip of Canada. It would be like trying to do that all on foot. And unfortunately, Jim is finding out she can't just TP there, she can't teleport there, she can't just ride Informe in a flying fashion, because there are large flying creatures that are above this remote forest that they dwell in. So she's in across this lush forest, across these badlands, across these molten lakes, and you're gonna see that when she crosses over this mountainscape, that she's gonna run into this large wall that is being contained here. So what she observes is there's these creatures trying to get into the wall, and it seems like a constant battle. And she goes over an entire day just waiting on the perch on one of these mountains, just watching basically these soldiers defending this this wall that you see. And what she'll do is she'll instruct Informe to do a move, and you'll get to see what her peregrine form looks like in one of my other character introductions, so I won't really show that here. But what she will find whenever she does a display of her own power is she will find that she gets met up with Cornelius. So Cornelius is a mage of Netheria, as you see here, and he questions her being there, because no one travels through the Badlands and through the lush forest unless they're a Nagari. And he can clearly see she is not a Nagari, nor is she one of the beasts that is trying to get in. So he is actually perplexed. He's perplexed. And as this is going down, her cloak hood is kind of over her face, so it's kind of covering a portion of her, and you'll get to hear that in the book. Now, she ends up befriending Cornelius, and Cornelius shows her around Netheria. When she finally makes it through the wall and earns his trust, she is put on basically a probationary period. She has to stay and become a resident of Netheria before she's able to even leave the gate that she just came through. And she's trying to travel northward. She to even get to the northern mountains, she had to cross the wall of Netheria, which is protected by a particular mage. He is one of the highest ranking officers and generals of Netheria, and you'll come to find out a little bit more about him. Now, the cool part about this character introduction is whenever I make some of the posts, I'll just put a post of fun character facts. This will be the only time that you could see him fully armored. And before I move on to that, this illustration is him in the trade center. After a couple days of them starting to get to know each other, he comes actually very friendly with Informe, and to no surprise, Informe loves the attention. Loves it. Because she's never gotten this much attention ever. Right? Now, there is a call to action in this chapter. Ending the chapter, he's going to be called to the action of a foe of Netheria and of the surrounding land. This foe is a dark and dangerous being, and I will let you get to the audiobook, and I will uncover what this being is, and possibly if you are observant. But as we can see here in his armor, he's leading this army forward to attack this foe, and his halo behind his head, he uses a giant spell book that when not in use, when it's not being used in his hands, he actually carries on his back. And this is massive. It's huge book. Almost an unlimited amount of pages, onion skin pages that are lined with this gold brim, this beautiful silver lining, and what he wields as his main attacking weapon is actually a wand. It's a wand that extends very large into a staff, like I kind of showed you earlier in the previous pictures. But that kind of concludes my character introduction. Don't forget, if you are enjoying this content, it really helps if you leave a like and a comment. And I really just enjoy doing this. I'm so glad to get this book out here. This is the last chapter of Grim and Jim, The Awakening. So I will be posting my second book once I get a couple more chapters done and formatting finished. I will be releasing that. So stay tuned for the second book and enjoy the ninth chapter. I'm really glad to get all this out there, and I've had a blast doing it. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. See you in the audiobook. Okay? Peace.